Good morning and sliding into afternoon. Normally, I would be on Facebook today, but we are doing the craft along this week, so we're here on YouTube. So today is day 3, and we'll be making 2 projects. We're making a card that Francine designed, and we'll make a tote bag. Now, I don't have the actual tote bag example because I made it for Margaret Mom's 93rd birthday, but show you a picture. You just saw a picture briefly of it, and ours is actually today going to be round circles handles instead of the square ones, right? Because that was specifically made for Margaret Mom for her birthday. As well as I'll let you see some of the other things we made as long with too, and I'll show you those briefly a little bit and tell you what they were. But with that, let's go down the hands and let's get going, right? It's Wednesday. We had a storm last night. Electricity went off. Exciting things happen, right? That goes off, then the TV upstairs comes back on, electricity comes back on. So you just saw, I just had Pooh Bear on the shirt there. So that's one shirt I did years ago, a few years ago on my machine. And I want to show you there's 2. So this one's actually faded, but it's got holes in it, right? It's been worn so many times. Yeah, I wore it out. So, you know, Pooh's been the bear. The one I got on today's got a huge Pooh Bear on back. Right? It's the back of the shirt. But this is what we did for Margaret Mom, right? We're going to make this card. And so what you have here that I made is we have the actual tote, right, which is in the background here. And then these are the actual gift card holders I was talking to you about, which would make very cute little cards as well too, right? If you I know some people like the 3x3 cards. Hello, Sue. I mean, this will make cute little cards, right? You saw this demonstrated yesterday, but you can see hers is much bigger. It's 6 inches tall, and it's wider also. So yesterday's card, as well as this one, has to go in a bigger envelope anyway you go because it's just so thick. But like I was telling you yesterday, this one here had the spinner on it. This one's just a free-floating Pooh Bear there, and then these were just additional designs I added, and I wrapped it with some ribbon both there and here was wrapped with twine. These were gift card holders, but like I said, you can easily make those into cards. I love taking scrapbook pages, making them into cards, and vice versa, and the same thing with little cards like that. So that's cute. So we'll be making some of those in the Silly Old Bear class in June. Hard to believe June's right around the corner. So one thing I love that Francine Design, is she takes and she sits it there and uses the DSP 4¼ by 5½. Now when I do my retreats with 18 cards, I don't do that, right? Because I couldn't get my paper of the cardstock. But we're doing it the way she did it today because I like the style. It just uses DSP paper, right? That's the thing. So, yeah, we want to use our DSP paper, but sometimes when we're doing big projects like that, just can't do it all. So, I'm going to go put this down. When I say that, right, because you can only get 4 of these in a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, whereas if I size it down to 4 by 5¼ I could get 6 of these to a sheet. So it just depends how many you want to make and what you're wanting to do. I still love this. All right, so this is just this beautiful paper back here that we could have put on the front. We'll make sure to put the trees up here. And when I did this one here, I made sure I didn't have one of those little Pooh Bears in the trees here, because like I said, there's only 4 on a sheet of 12 by 12. So I want to make sure I didn't capture that in there. Now these are we're just going to put these on here with I'm gonna put this down and it's down here with dimensionals, but I do want to show you. So when you look at this paper and you're not sure, all you gotta do is we have all these dies. Let me show you all the dies. All right, so all you gotta do is go pick the die that fits. All right, see how perfectly this fits. So really and truly, you just have to look at what the design is, and that's going to tell you which one we got going here. For the larger one here, right, I needed one that was going to be larger, so I actually had 2 options. I could have done this one here, right? But the only thing is, by doing this one here, see how much shorter that would have been? It would have only just been a little, it would have been fine, right? But she chose to go with a larger one that's really going to give you some more of that green. And that's what you have right here is this little one here. Or this large one here. And you see this one cuts out little holes there. The other one does not. Just to give you an idea of the differences and the different dyes that are in here. And the choices you make, right? Depending on what you want to showcase and what you want to stand out. So this one we're just going to sit there and put this on, like I said, with dimensionals. But this is just a quick and easy card, right? Like, it's all, sometimes it's the need for time, but it's not only is it quick and easy, but the other thing, it's just really cute. So you can make it a birthday card, hello card, any kind of card you want to make it, right? It's your card. You can do what you want to do. I'm just going to put this on here, and we'll stamp. And actually, the tote we're making today doesn't take that long to make either, and you're going to find that. You're going to find that surprising how simple that really is versus what you may think, okay? So I'm just going to put this on with that. She didn't put the bottom layer on with dimensionals. I was thinking about doing that, so I always tell people if you're not sure, just put this underneath and see how you're going to like it. I see, I'm fine with this. The only thing is we're going to put this tag right on top of here, so it's not going to really matter, right, from what I do. Sometimes you have to think about that because you would have to double stack dimensionals, which is not hard to do, right? It's just a matter if you want to do it or not. Okay, we're going to put this on. So how's your weather, Sue? Up here, I mean, we had that storm come through last night, and it was loud and ferocious until about midnight. So this way, it was so ferocious the dog wouldn't even come up the stairwell. There's your sign, right? And the dog won't come up the stairwell. So yeah. Yeah, so I was busy doing some stuff, creating, doing tutorials, and electricity went off. So there you go. Alright, I'm just going to stamp this here. And then all we have to add is our bling. Oh gosh, I did just stamp my finger in there. Okay, good. So people always wonder how much ink is, does it like really? Yeah, there you go. I actually stuck my thumb in there. And that's how much ink is on that. So, just to give you an idea. So we're just going to put it like right there. Now I can put a dimensional right here. So if you're not sure, right, we know where we're going to cover this right here. So if you want, you could easily put a dimensional right here. Because nobody's going to know it unless you have somebody that wants to dissect it. Oh, high of 89. We're supposed to get more rain today, which I am not complaining. I think our highs are in the 83. Definitely can feel the humidity in the house. Yeah, so I am taking that rain. It won't get us out of water restrictions, but I'm not sure what stage it'll bring us down to because the aquifer covers. Oh, look at what I just did. Okay, well, there's my opportunity for creativity. All right, so see how I've got a Band-Aid and picked up some of this here. So let's see if I can do it on the other side as well, too. No, that would be too convenient. But I can do it anyway. So now I can intentionally stick my thumb in there. Alright. It'll just add some nostalgia to it. Sorry, the Band-Aid is protecting my nail from splitting further until it grows out. It's almost there, but not quite. Okay, there. Let's solve that. See? You don't have to get excited when things happen like that. Just go with it and be creative with it, right? Alright, so we're just going to put our bling on here, and then it's just a matter of doing the inside. So I'm still going to add our bling over here, right? Doesn't care that what I've done on the other side of it. And I'm going to add, now, Francine might be concerned because she designed it, and I enhanced her design with something she didn't add to it. But it's okay. Let's see here. Yeah, there we go. All right. Okay, so we've had that. We're going to add our ribbon. Oh, right. Hey, you know, it's always opportunities for creativity. That's what I always tell my team and customers. It's like, there's, you know, when you do something like that, it's opportunity for creativity. And so there. Sometimes it looks way better than what you're even going to do to begin with, right? But for me, it just looks like it continues on with that whole nostalgic look, which is so cute about this suite, because it is, right? I think I'm pretty confident. I know I did. I actually I did my sons when they were born. Theirs were done in Winnie the Pooh. Because when I was growing up, I don't remember doing a whole lot. Well, I don't remember doing a whole lot with Mickey Mouse or Pooh or any of that, right? It was, you might have seen the TV programs when they only had 3 stations, but I really didn't do a whole lot of that other than that. It just, everything wasn't available like it is today. So it's sort of interesting how times changed. Yeah. But oh yeah. So we get this on here. So that is the outside of the V card, right? And you can trim it to whatever you want there. And on the inside, I'm just going to add this here. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a stamp off because I can, right? Or we could either do, could do one of the little honey pots too. Another thing I was doing a little stamp off. I've really been into adding Piglet or somebody on the inside because I can, right? Because we can. And again, and hers, she actually sat there and added some Wink of Stella to that honey pot. So we'll do that too. I'll grab that Wink of Stella so I don't forget. And let's get a character here on the inside. So whatever I do, it will be in this color ink. So we have a lot of choices, right? But I don't want to need something really large. I just want something like on the side here. And that's why Pooh works out so well, because Pooh is so small. But let's see who else we might add. We're going to add somebody else. So, you know, yeah, I'm going to do Piglet. So I always think of Piglet as my husband and me as Pooh Bear, and we're just hanging out together. But again, right, we can do a stamp off, so it's a matter of how dark you want it, right? So we do our ink. There's 1 time. Let's see if I can do 2 times. And there's the 3rd time, right? Most I could even do a 4th. You can see how there's just a lot of ink there. People always think there's not any ink there. There's a lot of ink there, okay? So actually, I'm going to do the 3rd one here. There you go. All right, and you can add wherever else you want on the inside. But this is just cute, right? To be able to do some stamp offs and do some other characters in here as well, too. So I'm going to set that aside. And we're going to go ahead and set this aside because now we're going to make the tote bag. So here are the pieces. Now, when I originally made the tote bag before Margaret Mom's, when I was just making it, is I did not have any trim on it at the bottom. But when I finished up Margaret Mom's, I'm going to do like I did Margaret Mom's today, so I actually put some trim at the bottom. I don't know, I just like doing that from time to time. And so, in this particular case, when people get their stamp camp or retreat to go, right, I didn't cut, they got the pack of DSP and they're cutting on DSP. So this was actually provided for people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it like this, because it's going to be covered, right? This whole place is going to be covered. You had to take 2 circles together to make this happen. All right, so it's actually going to cover that. So we can cut this by hand and it's no big deal. All right, so then all I'm going to do is take this here Right, sort of like yesterday. The other day I didn't have my paper trimmer, so I just took my scissors and I eyeballed it and I made it happen. So we're doing the same thing here. I'm not worried about, I just don't want to cut the brown piece, right? That's the main thing. I don't want to cut the brown, well, it just can be covered too. I don't know why I say that, okay? Because they'll both be covered by the handles. So what happens here is, right, whenever you do something like this, you need 3 dies, right, that are the same shape. You could do the rectangles, you can do the circles, whatever, but you need 3 sizes. So what you do is you take the middle one to cut out for the handle, and the other 2 then are going to create the outer border. So this is the front, this is going to be the back here. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and get this on. So when I say you want to put the wrong sides together, it's like fabric, right? So these was going to be the inside. So when you die cut it, you want to put them together, and that way your circles are already together, lined up, and everything and all, right? The way they're going to be put together. So in this particular case, I can take what I've done here, and it pretty well, because I die cut them together, pretty well they want to stay together, right? So all I'm going to do is put a little glue, this one first, and I'm going to put it right here on the front, and I'm going to put some on the back, and then we're just going to put the hand, I'm going to put the bottom part on first since it's so aligned. This side would make a pretty purse also, right? Or tote. So actually, the layout that I'm doing today with the color scheme and all, I actually got this inspired by a Disney bag I already have that's got like 3 different colors on it. Alright, so all I'm going to do is open this up right here. Okay, and I'm going to put it right, well, that one fell off. Alright, that's okay. We're just going to come back and we'll do the same thing. I was going to say, when I did Margaret and Mom's, hers just stuck together, but hers were squares. So see how that looks right there? We've covered that right up, and we made sure that these match right here, okay? There you go. All right, then what I did afterwards is just come in, and I just did the top part then of the handles. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use this as our guide for the back side, oops, of the tote. Okay, so I'm going to do this one here. I'm just going to do one side this time since those are separated. Didn't seem to really matter. Making sure. I did. You could have done the light side on the back. I did the dark side because actually my inspiration had a dark side just like I did on this one. And the sides were actually a different color too, like we're going to do. Alright, so the main thing we want to do, right, is we want to line this up right here, and we're just going to put this right here, okay? We already know it's going to cover that part there, so all I do is just take it, right, line up the edges, and we'll just adjust a little, okay? See how we did that? That's all we did. We just made sure everything lined up here on the sides and all, and I just tugged it a little because I've got it in glue, right? So there you go. Then all I'm going to do is come put glue. See, it doesn't matter, right, if it's perfect on back or not, because the bottom line is you have to watch the video to know what it looks like, right? And see how it looks, what it looks like on the back here. So it doesn't matter. So if you accidentally get it off a little bit and all, doesn't matter. Because in the end, you're going to make sure everything aligns like this. And it's covered up. Reminds me of sewing, right? I couldn't tell you the times I've had to either do something to hide my own stuff in sewing. Now this one needs to be pulled up just a little bit. I know last summer when I did my grandsons, I had to sit there and, okay, that one's going to be off a little bit. So when I helped him, I had to do some hiding of had some opportunities for creativity, I guess is what we say. All right, so there's our front and back, all right? Here's the panels. Now we have panels that are going to be down here at the bottom. So the longer one here is going to be at the bottom. right? It's just a matter of what works out best for you, what you like, and so forth and so on, right, when you put something on. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one on down here at the bottom. And I did do this with tear and tape because I didn't want to have to mess with the glue. I'm going to do this at the bottom. So I personally wanted my bottom to be as close as it could be to the edge here. So if you wanted to do 2 layers, I did, I have done 2 layers of tear and tape, but I don't have to, right? The main thing is I just want this bottom edge, right? That's going to be the bottom. I want it as close to the edge of the DSP portion as possible, right? So there's no gaps. You, like I said, you could do the glue. So all I'm going to do is do it like this. And then we're just going to put the edge against the edge, all right? And let me show you what I mean when I say that. So I'm going to take this off. And I got to make sure you do the right side, right? So the bottom doesn't matter because it's all one color. But it does matter down here. You have to think about which way is this going to go. So this is the back side, right? So it's going to go on this side here. So all I wanted to do is I wanted to line this. I'm just trying to line this right here from edge to edge because this is the bottom. Now, granted, most people most probably aren't going to like go look at the bottom, flip it over, and see what my work looks like. But they might. But I know, right? Sort of like when I sew, I know. All right. So there we go there. There's our edge. Okay. We're going to flip it over and do the same thing. A Band-Aid does not want to take off adhesive stuff. All right. And so we're going to do the same thing here. We're just going to fold this edge over. And so this is the front side, right? So we want to make sure this one here. Then we're going to put the front side down here. And again, we're just going to make sure the edges all match. If they don't, just tug it up. We haven't like mashed it down into place or anything. Make our edges right there and right there. So see how I'm up a little bit? So the thing is I would do is just go ahead and take it off gently. Now you see it takes the paper a little bit, but it's okay. I'm just going to get that edge just a little bit straighter because that's what I want. Okay, so there we go. Still, that one came off worse than I did the first time. Peel that off again. Right, so the thing is if I do take some of the paper off, that doesn't bother me too much, right? Because I know it's going to be covered. Now this is taking off a lot. You see how much I'm taking off right there? So, yeah, so that's what happens. So, but that's okay, right? I'm just down to the white core. It's still there. So, if I did all this, and I want to come back right here to get my edge, see if I can do it better this way, straight right here, I can, and if need be, right, I can sit up there. 2 things I can do, right? I can come back with glue. If it doesn't stick very good, I can sit and come back with glue. The other is if it still bothers me with just a smidgen there, I can take my scissors and cut it. But I'm not going to worry about it, right? I'm more concerned about this right here, and I can use glue. And I'm looking at that, and I think I'm going to use glue. So let's do it. So that's all you have to do, right? I try not to sweat the small stuff because some of this stuff is really small stuff and it just happens. You know, I want something straight. And, you know, if you ever talk to anybody that I've done scrapbooking with, they will tell you I have put a whole page together and decided I didn't like it, and I tore the page all apart. I've done that more than once too. And I have an eraser that I can erase adhesive as well. So, you know, for me, it's like I want what I want, and that's what I do. All right, so these are the side pieces. There's 2 of them. Hello, Susie. I'm glad you got to make it today, lady. What kind of weather have you been having out there? All right, so just 3 of the sides have score lines, right? So what I'm going to do, just like I did yesterday, I'm just going to cut this corner just a little bit besides that where they come together right there. And that's just going to help it lay a little bit better. Now this one, when we go put this one on, we're going to do this a little bit different. So this one, we're going to start at the top and work our way down. It's sort of like fabric, right? When you're doing seams, you start wherever you want your first one to start at, right? You start at the top, or if you're doing, let's say, well, it doesn't matter. Whatever is your prominent spot that you want to make sure that everything is equal, you start there, right? So that's where it's going to be, you're going to see it the most. So that's where you want to start. And that's what we're going to do. Now the flaps on the bottom we're going to save to last. And it's a little awkward to do, but it works. But it allows us to make sure that everything is as straight and all that we need it to be on top. Yes, my hands are like really sticky. And I have nothing. I was trying to think if I even had anything to, I might have something to clean my glasses and my, let's see here. I usually do. Let's see if I have one today. I think I used it already. Oh, here's it. I usually have a couple of alcohol wipes, right? Actually, it's to clean my blocks, not my hands, but today that will work just fine, especially my right hand. That's all it is, just an alcohol wipe. We keep these handy to clean the blocks, just about anything really. Glasses, for people that wear glasses, sunglasses. Okay, that'll get all the sticky stuff off, right? Oh, wow. I tell you, I'm not sure, Susie, if all our rain's coming from your area or if it's coming from up north and working its way down, and we can just see it like sweeping across as it comes. All right, so we're going to take this off. Oh, yeah, that made all the difference in the world. Okay. So I'm going to start right up here at the top. And it doesn't matter if it's the front or the back. Main thing is, I just want to start right here and make sure my edges match right at the top, right? Because that's what everybody will see right off the bat, right? So I'm just going to come through here just like this and make sure the top is straight. And if I need to down here, I'm just going to do like right there, okay? And see how those corners match? Now that's important because it's going to be important as we fold this up. You need your corners to match as close as you can, all right? And I'm going to go ahead and do the other one on the other side. I imagine, right? Nobody's complaining. I know I'm not complaining about the weather around here. Man, we were in the 90s, and it's nice to be back into the 80s. I love the 70s. But hey, take what I can get. Take what I can get and enjoy the moment. All right, so we're going to do the same thing. I just get it as close to the edge I can, right, without going over. Yes, it's called tear and tape for a reason, right? Because we can just tear it off. Oh, wow. You are having some interesting weather. All right. So this is going to be on this side here. So again, we're going to start at the top. And I'm just going to do it. I'm going to make sure my top matches, right? Right like down the edge. And then I can come on down here, just like this. And so you can see it looks like the edge is going to be just fine at the bottom. So keep in mind, right? So if there was an issue, let's say it was a little short or something, keep in mind, just take your bone folder and rake it across, right? Because the paper will give, the threads will give with some little extra pressure there. All right, so here we go to this side. We're going to do the same thing, except we're just finishing up now. And then we have our tag to make. So I actually brought a spinner. So depending on whether it does the way I want it to or not. Now see here, it depends if I do it. Looky here, so when this folds close, see how that's sort of like, it looks like it's going to be in a bind. So all you have to do, right, is just go cut a little bit more off. That's all I got to do. Because we're right above where the two intersected, so I'm not, it's not going to create a hole, right? But it'll at least lay easy together. It's still a little off, so let's do the bottom one. Just do a little bit bigger wedge there. Don't want to leave a hole, but just enough so when everything folds together, it doesn't go to get in a bind. Okay, there we go. Because this has got to go on the inside, right? So again, we're going to start at the top. It's tearing tape, so if you go over with the tearing tape, just roll it. It'll roll. All right, again, we're matching the corners, just like that. And I'm just going to give this a nudge inside, right? Because this is where it goes. Whether it wants to be nudged inside or not, it's going to be. Now, so this wants to be a little tight down here. So again, oops, I am going to do that. So let me do it like this. So in the end, this is going to be like this right here, okay? So I'm just trying to get this little corner right here nudged inside here is all I'm doing. Just give it a little nudge, okay, and see how that worked. I just give it a little nudge. I haven't finished everything yet. I haven't given any pressure. So I'm just going to give it a little nudge to go on the inside. Okay? Alright. So you see that this flap here is still available to do something with. So all I'm going to do is take the little tape off here, the white part. No, you can't see it nearly as much. It's just right in there. But all I'm going to do, right, it's going to come down right here. And press it on the inside. Like that, and you see then that I don't have any holes. I was concerned I was going to have a hole at the bottom, but I don't. Something's there, but it's okay. Just take your scissors, and if that doesn't work, just get you a poo or somebody and put them right on that corner right there, and it won't matter. All right, so we're going to come over here and do the same thing. Again, we're going to start at the top. Yes, if you want to know, yes, I throw all my trestles away. This will hold, so you're absolutely right, Susie. This will hold about easily 4 cards. Now see here, for whatever reason, I'm not sure why my bottom here is like, give me issues. But yes, so like you can easily fit 4 cards in here. And for me, I put all my gift card holders in here. And I'm going to show you a bag I made last week that you can't. But what's nice about this one is because this is the size it is, you can sit there and take your regular cards and put them in here, and they fit very nicely in here. Okay. Margaret Mom is definitely blessed because I did not have any issues with hers. Okay. So we got that there, and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to take this little white piece off on the inside and adhere this down here to the bottom, I think. See if I can feel it, but I don't see it. Okay, so if you have problems like I am, a challenge right now, you never have challenges except when you're doing lives, right? Because when you're doing it by yourself at home, nobody's watching. You're just creating. Okay, I might have to let that go and then go back and put some glue on it later and get it later. Okay, anyway, so this is what it's going to look like when you get through. Now, this was from the original one I created, and then for Margaret Mom's, I came and added these strips. But I really liked it because I can see the piglet. You just do it like this, and you can tie this together, right, and close it. But I will show you, so you see here, here's the bag, here's the cards we created, right? So look how nicely they fit in here. So even though these have layers and everything else, so this is, you can see, we still have room that we can put more in here, right? And other things. So for me, I had because her card was so large, it would fit in there when I put the envelope. And I think I did put it in there, because I had enough space lengthwise to do it, and I could put all the gift holders cards in there too. So it's always a matter of choice, right? Whether you want to add something to this or not. If I didn't want to add it to the front, I could definitely add it to the back. So let me just put this on the back. It's whatever your preference is. I just have a tendency to do this sometimes, but I'm going to show you when I get through this. I'm going to show you what the one from last week was and show you the difference, right? Little tote bags, they come in all shapes and sizes, and it's just depending on what you want, what you're going to do with it. It is. That's what I used it for, right? It was a gift. So it's a gift within a gift, right? Because I not only had this, but I had her gifts that I had for her in here, and then right, I had the card, so everything was in there. So what we're gonna do now is we've got a bow we're gonna put on here, and that's not the color. I need the yellow. And then we're gonna twine. So yes, yesterday when I told you I had twine everywhere, and I knew I had twine there. Yeah, everything I'm creating has twine in the box because that's what I've been doing. I do like doing gifts like this that are a gift within a gift, right? So you can do it two ways. I just tied the bow. I didn't tie any knot. So you can either tie it closed or wait till you're ready to give the gift, right, and then tie it closed then. It's up to you. You just need to allow your ribbon long enough to be able to do whatever you want to do, right? So the other thing I did with this too is I put this here, and I left it with the option that I could sit up there and go back, right, and tie the handles closed. But her card was so big, I couldn't quite do that. But in addition to it, I actually had this tag. And so on this tag here, I actually originally put it on a spinner because I thought it'd be way too cool to spin. But the thing is if you don't get these just right, what'll happen is then sometimes, and especially because it was a bag, it didn't want to, I don't know, it wasn't spinning the way I wanted it to spin, so it was like fine. I just decided to eliminate it, and the way I eliminate it is, right, just use a dimensional, and that's all I did. I said put a dimensional on the tag, and that way it didn't spin anymore. So we're going to try it today and see what you think. Now I did do it, right, on her gift cards. I put the spinner on there because I could, right? When somebody's 93 years old, well, somebody's special to you, first of all, right? You're going to do something special for them because they're just special for you. But in addition to that, because she's 93 years old, you know, I just love Margaret Mom, and you know what? I just want to do something super cool and special for her. All right. So then it does have to dry a moment, right? And then when I go to put it on here, I just put some glue on the spinner on the top here. Just like that. So what I try to do, right, it's like weight, right? Any kind of balance of weight. So the top part of this is going to have just a little bit more cardstock to it, right, than the lower part. So what I did is I just put it, instead of centering it perfectly, I just sat there and made sure the larger part was a little bit further down. So in this particular case, it's not even dry yet, right? And I just put it on the wrong side too, but that's okay. All right, so I'm just going to move it up just a little bit. We'll have to wait for that to dry. And meanwhile, we're going to take this here, and we're going to take some twine. So what I did is I fed the twine through the top there. And then what I did over here, which I'll have to just leave it so I can go back and feed it through when that's through. So I'm going to give myself just about that much, knowing that I'm going to tie a knot through this here. And I just went ahead and layered it right through here when I did it, so it'd be easier, right? So the thing is, if you untie this, it'll come off, and that's okay, right? The tag will. They might decide to I don't know what Margaret Mom did with. She might decide to reuse some of the stuff I made for her, because I did make her one of these to go on her actual, like I said, gift card holders. All right, so then when I go and put this other piece on, once I get through, I just tied this into a knot on the end and trimmed off the excess. And that way you can sit up there and put your tag on there. So it's just a matter if you think we should put another piece here, leave it like it is, because I really like all the poo scenes, or we could do it like we did on back here. So when you do it, you can see that it does make a little bit of difference, right? Because it's going to cover up some of the scenery. So in this particular case, I really wanted to leave it because I wanted all the scenery. I'm not sure that this is dry yet. But you can see, right? It's going to want to twirl. You can see how it wants to twirl. I can't tell if it's dry yet or not, but I'm going to at least, I can tie it here. I'll do this one. Let's see if I can, right? Do it like a sewing thread. Making sure I got it together so I can do that. And I'm going to put it through there. That's all I'm going to do. I'm just sit there and, you know, having a band-aid on your finger is like, I mean, granted it protects my nail and protects me from like having everything attached to my nail, but tying knots. Okay, here we go. We're just going to do our old school left over right and right over left, and we'll have a square knot. That's usually my go-to, right? I think it's from the Girl Scout days, when I was a wee little lass. Okay, I'm just going to trim it off, right? That's all I'm going to do. So, in this particular case, by doing the tag like this, it can still spin. You can still reuse it if you want to. So there you go. I'm going to let it dry, make sure it dries really good more. So here's what we made today. All right. And then tomorrow, I'll put this aside. Yes, you'll have clean paper there tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to make a treat holder. And you can fit a lot of things in there. And then we'll make this card here that Francine designed. Now I know I said I was going to show you the other purse. So let me show you this other one I made last week. This one last week was made with a one sheet wonder. So you're dealing with 12 by 12 paper, right? So, but I will show you the difference. So as a result, see how much shorter it is than this one? So this one here, I could get a small card, right? I can make some 3 by 3 cards. I can make a, let's see here. So I can make, this isn't even 5 inches. It's like barely 5 inches as I'm looking at this. So your card you'd have to make lengthwise would be less than 5 inches. But you know, you can make some really cute cards. You can make it 4 3/4 and 3 inches wide, wherever you want to, and it would fit in here perfectly. The difference is this one here's got handles, right? It's not glued on there where you got a front and a back. This is using distressed paper. But what the difference is look how much more space I have in here. This bag has 3 inches of space. I can put a lot of stuff in here, right? And I put this with Velcro to hold this attached right here. So I mean, you can do so many things with these cute little tote bags. I mean, this is a cute little gift holder. I made a coordinating little if you want to see it live, last week I made a cute little gift card holder from 6 by 6 paper, which is the same thing I did for Margaret Mom, except it's just different paper, right? But what a difference, just by doing different things you can get different bags. So we'll make a bag in the Cilio Bear class in June, right? So it's all about creating and having fun, right? It's all about that, right? I mean, making a gift for other people too. So usually when I'm inspired, when I'm making somebody for something, that's what inspires me to do some things I do. So like the bag I made last week, I was inspired by my daughter because she likes everything black and white. Black's her favorite color. So I was inspired by her to sit there and make what I created, because I can sit there and do what her favorite color is. So I hope you enjoyed this today. We still have till Saturday, so you get 3 more days, and we'll have all the projects done in the craft along by Saturday. So be sure to leave a comment, right? So you'll be entered in the door prize drawings that we'll do on Saturday, because we'll post those all out there. So with that, thank you for joining in today and following us not only here on YouTube, but also on Instagram and Facebook. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye.